Hi, welcome to the Pursuit of Truth. So on the news they were talking about Joe Biden's administration waiving the intellectual property of COVID-19 vaccines. I'm assuming what this means is that anyone would be able to produce it. One of the arguments that I mentioned at the beginning, that if they wanted to spread this quickly, the vaccine, to heal people, assuming it is real and all that stuff, then why make money out of it? Why not do it for humanity? And of course now other people have got involved, and they're suggesting that if they were to give it out, then it would lead to shortages because everyone would be fighting over the same, I guess, the chemicals, whatever the ingredients are to make this thing up. But I think the real problem with this is that these big companies, especially people in the wealthy countries, what they're really worried about isn't the shortage. They're worried about that they will have to fight for the same stuff, and that maybe countries that are poorer might get their hands on the ingredients because, say, like with India, who are now suffering with record numbers, allegedly, remember, all of this is based on what I'm seeing on the news. I have no first-hand knowledge of this, but just based on this concept, let's talk of it in that way. The Serum Institute of India makes a lot of medicines that we take around the world, and maybe what they're worried about is someone like them would be able to make the Pfizer or whichever one it is that they're wavering, the Johnson & Johnson one, and they would be able to get all the ingredients because they're the ones probably making it for the UK and US. It depends where the main laboratories or pharmaceutical companies where they manufacture this stuff, where they are situated. And like, as we know, often they're situated in countries where they don't have to pay so much money to their staff, so they make more money out of it. They didn't actually mention the argument I was worried about is that if you gave it to anyone, that then maybe they could start putting whatever they wanted in it, and maybe the integrity would be the more worrying thing. I suspect that's going to be their next argument. But it's interesting that, because one lady was talking about this idea of sharing, that we should be sharing the vaccines to the poorer countries, not offering a third one, a booster one, in, say, the UK. We should be doing more, because they were showing the statistics that 0.2% of vaccines have gone to the low-income countries, which is, the interesting she was talking about, we teach our children sharing. Yeah, that's right, we do. There's lots of nursery homes and lots of things where they teach sharing too. We teach to our children. Like Baba Black Sheep, where we share her wall. Not sure that's really sharing, that's more like stealing, isn't it? Because she never gives her permission. We just take it. But the interesting thing is the delusion, I guess, of this is that this idea of sharing, yes, we do teach our children to share, but we teach our children to share as if money doesn't exist. That you should share your sweets, you should share this, but we don't tell our children, they should share their food, their houses, their countries, their land, their wealth, and all that kind of stuff. Oh my God. That's what I mean. If you watch these children's videos on, say, YouTube or whatever, where they teach about sharing, the aspect of money isn't there. Like with Baba Black Sheep, where they're giving people freely. They're going around, I think it's Chuju TV's one, where they're giving food or whatever and different things to people. But, and so that's to teach children about sharing. But what they don't, as you grow up, you realise that you can't share unless there's a monetary involvement, and that is no longer sharing. It just amazed me that, you see, this idea of that, as if this is a new problem of inequality to countries around the world, different humanities around the world, different peoples, where it's been happening for a long time, and just sorting out this one issue is like putting a band-aid on a cut. So I mean, if you really want to solve this issue of inequality, you have to go, it's the system, the way we live. Like I've been, on these previous videos, been talking about over and over again, keeping the same stories, the same characters, the same system, the same things alive, like money. We don't need to do things for money. COVID has proved that. It hasn't really, because as you can see, they're not really, the rich countries aren't giving as much, they're keeping much more to themselves first. They're vaccinating themselves and then giving a little bit and making out that, we're giving lots of money to the COVAX system or whatever it is. And whereas the actual, because they know that they've got the manufacturing side of it, that money is probably just sitting there, and it's only going to start being used. They won't get their vaccines until everyone in the rich countries have got them. So it's just this idea of inequality. It needs to be looked at a lot deeper. You can't just look at, there's inequalities of so many different natures to do with how we view each other, basically, whether it's skin colour, whether it's wealth, whether it's all these different things. You're a low-income country, you're a high-income country, how you're treated based on where you're born, despite us being exactly the same, and this all land being exactly the same. If we want to teach our children about sharing, maybe as adults we should start by example, because we don't share. We don't share the very land that we're all born upon, that we don't even know the reason for our existence and how it came about. And if you believe in God, then it was given to all of us to do as we will, freely. It was never given to just you, to then split up and call it names and then create your borders, your prisons for your population, and keep other people out unless they have money or passports or pieces of paper. So if we want to teach our children about equality, we need to actually really do that, not piecemeal, not go share your sweets. That's sharing. Share the land that you're on. Share the food that we all have. There's enough food for every single person. No person needs to suffer. Share that. If you want to print money and have money, share that wealth, rather than having families and people with big bank accounts sitting on things while people are starving or people are living out in the cold. So it just came to my mind, this idea when this lady was talking about teaching our children sharing, and this issue of as if this is, of how the rich countries are getting all the vaccines for themselves, for their population, whilst the poor countries are dying of this disease, assuming this is all real and etc. And then you think that's something new. That's been happening for generations, and it's going to keep happening, because the system that we live within, of having countries, of having divisions, of having, all these different things that divide us, having all those things will always create inequality. Take care, take it easy, God bless, and peace.